One weekend, I was looking for something unique to go visit, and was delighted to find that there was a Highland Gathering, which is put on by the Edmonton Scottish Society annually. 2024 was their 50th gathering. We decided to check it out. I'm sure for many of my watchers from the UK, many of the activities will look familiar, but this was our first time getting to see many of the events. So keep watching, and I will show you a little of this fun gathering. As I was doing some background research, I was shocked to see how many Highland gatherings occur across Canada, as well as across the globe. The bagpipes and drums competition was interesting to listen to, and pipers could be seen across the field, warming up and competing in front of the individual tents. It was early at this time, but we'll be back to see some more later. We took a few minutes to check out the booths. There were a variety of vendors, and this one had a great selection of Scottish-themed goods, and even imported foods and clothing. Some of the other booths focused on specific clans, and I always enjoyed looking at the map of the different clan territories. There were also photographs of Scotland, and booths offering recruitment for pipers and drummers. By far, one of the most popular events is the heavy events. This was a first for me, and some things that I thought I would never see right here in Canada. The events, especially the women's classes, are increasing in popularity in North America, and the MC gave some great commentary.
Susie Lajoie, formerly of the Maritimes, now she's out here living and working in Wainwright. She's a little strong and a little fast, so she throws fairly well. I asked her yesterday, and she's also representing Canada at Worlds next weekend. Here's Benson up, another track and fielder. A lot of carryover from track and field into Highland Games. Life gets busy sometime, but now she's coming back out.
Oh, thank you.
The men would pop out for a round of throws as well.
All the way sit at the bottom, and it costs you.
In addition to the hammer throw, they also had the stone put and caber toss. I'm not intending to indulge in foot fetishes, but I wanted to show the special footgear that they use. The long blades help the thrower keep their balance, although when walking it looks much like walking with flippers on.
Maybe got a good counterbalance on that.
While the women continued, the men's stone put was going on.
Big, long throw there. What's that? Kiefler, long-time thrower.
The heavy events were fascinating to watch, and gave me a good respect for the twisting on the various joints in the body, never mind being able to throw heavy objects. The weight throw overall looks similar to the hammer throw, except that the weight is on a chain.
Well, we're standing up the caber for Aaron. So again, you're going to end up squeezing the caber with the heel of the hands.
As an interesting side note, this fellow was also the photographer for the event.
Okay, so 15 feet, a little bit more weight on the top than all the way through it, so it's got a bit of taper. Heavy weight here in a little bit. We're going to move over to the caber. Alex McCara coming up. We'll let the guys run through here real quick on the open class. So again, this is a 20-foot, 2-inch stick. A little bit of light taper to it. A little bit of a bend at the top. Overall, though, a pretty friendly stick for, you know, a 20-foot stick. Alex, for that nice pick. So there's a couple things you got to watch for. And 12 o'clock it is. I have been to games where you have to throw in the same spot all the time. I'm just more worried about them getting the crowd a good show here. Trevor's throwing the Masters heavyweight, 42-pound weight. See Nick getting nice and low. Want to get your hands right down there. Squeeze the heels of your hand. Get that control. Start that run. Pick your line. And we're looking at about 11:30. We've got to do a little caber shopping. Not easy to do necessarily, but get some of the bigger ones up for some of the bigger boys. Just a little off. We're going to give him 11:45 to the line he was running on. If he hits 12, guys are tied, and then we start looking back at the other attempts. Good straight line he's run on. Late pull. So that is no turn. There are times, depending on the level of competition, the number of guys, where you might get a side judge and start talking about the angles. It's going up on that. Up for his third attempt. Again, it's a 20-foot, 2-inch stick. It is all there. It's not as green as it used to be. Still got that weird little wobble at the top, though. A lot of times, too, depending on how you shave it, it might have a little bit of oblong on there, so it affects your grip a bit. It's got that. There it is. Oh, and there it is.
As part of the caber toss, the person who just threw will help stand the caber back up for the next thrower. It seems to defy logic that they pick the caber up on the narrow end, but I'm sure that the stick has a better turn with the large end being at the top.
There we go, great pick. Good and stable. Nice run on that. Good and straight. Big plant. Off on that, we're gonna say 11:15. All right, Alicia. What's this one, Meg? 15? 15 feet. Yeah. Alicia was just mentioning you get a nice little knot on your collarbone once you start throwing caber enough, and day 2 it's a little tender. Good control. She has picked her line. Big pull. Not quite. We're looking at 130. And the first couple steps, picks that line. Big pull. Very close. What are we looking at here? That is 12:45. It was not always thus, but she has adjusted very well to this. Which way you going, Jamie? There we go. Now she picked the line for me. And we are looking at 11:45 to the line. Beautiful pick. Where's my line, Suze? Ooh, 11:45. Turned. What do you want from me? It's kind of what I figured. It's from the same country that invented Scotch, so I have my suspicions on where it came from. Great control from Laura.
Unfortunately, the caber doesn't always turn.
Oh, not quite enough on that one. Great pick from Alicia. All right, she picked a nice line. Whoa. 230. That's pretty off there, so.
Behind us was the Highland Dance competition, which also drew a large crowd.
to get this thing really going. So what you really want to do is try to lift with the hips and get a rotation with the arms. It's not a lift.
Also at the gathering was the petting farm, with a variety of ducks, goats, sheep, a pony, and rabbits to pet. I enjoyed this trio. I guess the grass that your friend is eating tastes best. The haircut suited this pony well. The sheep worked hard to find all the best grass, even under the bench.
Brannigan, 1 more minute, please. Remember that we need to take turns so other sheep can come in.
There's the trio again. The animals really enjoyed the grassy area in the shade, and they had plenty of water to drink. Goats will be goats. Nice jump! Let's see that again. These chickens were pretty cute with their fuzzy heads. It was pretty fun seeing all the animals. My only complaint about the petting farm is that there was no Highland coo. Of course, we had to take a few minutes to listen to the bagpipes competition. Pipers play out in front of individual tents in the field. Because of all the pipers competing and warming up, it was hard to discern any individual playing. Also at the event was the classic and vintage British car show. Since we got there early, it was fun seeing the vehicles pull in for the day. There was a lovely variety of vehicles, and it's always nice to see cars that have been well cared for over the years. Marvin, the Austin Cooper, caught my eye. The personalized license plate on the back had a good sense of humor. I was impressed by the trunk space in this two-seater, or should I say boot.
There's good. Perfect.
I worked at Nate for 30 years as a manager.
Okay.
And they would give you...
This car was apparently one of the first to have electric wipers installed.
As he said, he explained that that's an add-on, electric for the wipers.
Finally, we were getting a bit hungry. There's a variety of the usual foods that you would expect. Fries, burgers. But there was an offering of a haggis patty on a bun. Of course, the condiments included HP sauce. It was a little dry, but it tasted all right. This was the view as I ate. All in all, it was a great gathering to visit, and I felt like I had traveled to Scotland without even leaving Canada. I felt inspired and enriched. As always, thanks for watching.